Howdy, welcome to another episode of Duck the Law. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to review a dashcam video from a private citizen during a traffic stop. We're going to review it, I'm going to give some commentary, and then afterwards we're going to discuss a couple things we can learn from this video. Before we start, I want you to pay attention to two things that are happening in the video. One, I want you to pay attention to how many times the officer asked how fast he was going. He's trying to get him to admit to speeding, and I want you to pay attention to how he responds, including his demeanor and the words he uses. The second thing I want you to pay attention to is this whole conversation regarding whether or not he needs to roll his window all the way down. These are the two things we're going to talk about after the video. Let's watch.
Roll it down all the way, man.
Why is that?
Roll it down all the way so I can talk to you better.
We can talk, right?
Roll it down all the way. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you.
What law is that?
Why are you starting this, man?
Well, you're telling me to roll my window. We can talk, right?
Yeah, roll it down more.
But why?
So I can talk to you better, man. I'm not going to talk to you through a crack like this.
We can talk.
I'm not trying to be rude to you, anything like
I'm
that.
really not trying to be rude to you either, but...
So what's the deal? Why don't you want to roll it down all the way?
Because I don't have to.
I don't know what that's about.
I'm not trying to be difficult. Do you want my license registration?
Yeah, if you don't care.
I like that redirection.
What's
He
the reason for
redirects
stopping
from the window
Okay.
to, do you want my
With
license?
the Arkansas State Police, okay?
I appreciate that.
The reason I'm pulling you over is speeding. You know how fast you're going?
I do.
How fast are you going?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay, I got you going 87 and the 65, man. That's low.
Awesome. He asked, do you know how fast you're going, trying to get him to admit to something. Said, I'm not going to answer that question. The guy told him, I got you doing 87.
That's a little quick.
I got this dash cam here,
Yeah.
and it records my speed.
Okay, how fast did you say you're going?
I'm not going to answer that question, but
Okay.
I know it wasn't that. This is
Okay.
registration,
How fast do you think
insurance.
you're going?
I'm not going to...
Again, he's trying to redirect. Here's my insurance. Here you go. And the guy asks again, how fast were you going?
answer that.
Okay.
I'm really
I'm not
not
gonna
trying to
answer
be
that.
difficult with you, sir.
So what's the deal then?
Well, what deal?
Why are you just being so defensive and argumentative?
With what?
Everything I'm saying.
Well, I don't believe...
Not being cooperative or rolling the window down. It's not a huge deal. I'd like to talk to you better. You know.
I think that we're talking fine, though, aren't we?
We were, but
I just
it's not.
Well, hold on. Well, let's start over.
We're not going to argue.
I don't want to argue with you, but
Okay.
let's start over.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
My name's James. You have my
Nice
ID
to meet you,
here.
man.
And I just don't... The reason for the window, I'm not trying to be defensive or
Yeah,
argumentative or anything.
Yeah.
I just don't like to have it all the way down.
Why's that?
I just don't.
Okay, I want you to notice how the cop went from very demanding and kind of mean at the beginning. He said, lower it. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. Now he's shifting tactics. He went from bad cop to good cop. And he's trying different ways to see how he can get this guy to comply.
Why's that, man?
I just don't. you know?
Okay. Everyone's different, I guess.
Everyone is a little different, yeah.
Yeah.
You like it down, I don't, you know. it's-
Okay. Everything looks good here. So you don't think you were speeding?
I don't want to answer
Again,
any questions.
he asked him
regarding
again.
that.
Why not?
It's just,
It's not a huge deal,
Again,
man. Just speeding.
I get it, and
it's not a big deal.
I don't think it's a huge deal to not.
Something,
That's something they often do with weed, where it's still illegal. They'll be like, so where's the weed at? It's not a big deal. It's just a little bit of weed. It's nothing, just show me where the weed's at. Okay. And they end up showing them where the weed's at. And then they get arrested. Yeah, it's not a big deal, except it's probable cause and it's illegal. So he's trying to do the same tactics. Like, it's not a big deal. You broke the law, whatever. Yeah, let's keep watching.
if you don't think you're going that fast, something could be wrong with your car or something, man. You never know that.
2021.
Bullshit excuse.
I'm not trying to be rude either.
I know you're being nice now, so I appreciate that.
Well, I feel like I've been nice.
Yeah,
So that's another thing they'll do. They'll be like, well, you're being nice now. You're being cooperative now. And all that's meant to do is to get you to argue back. What do you mean? I've always been nice. And this guy kind of falls for it right here.
the deal is, man, we go, if you give us signs by not being cooperative by the little things.
We're not
sometimes-
cooperating?
Just listen. Let me talk, okay?
Sure.
Okay. Those little
Right
things
there
can be lost
again.
sometimes, man. For all you know, you could be trying to hide something.
It's
anything like that.
personally
So this is
offensive.
what
What do you mean I'm
saying
not
are,
Well,
cooperating?
we're just operating within the bounds of the law right now, aren't we?
It's like
Are
someone
we just
calling you a
operating within
liar.
the bounds of the law right now?
It's gaslighting. That's what it is. He's trying to gaslight you. He's trying to tell you things happened that didn't actually happen. So it offends you personally. It's like, what do you mean I'm not cooperating? I'm totally cooperating. I just don't want to roll it down.
We are.
then
But those are just little clues, man. I mean, it's kind of weird when you don't want to roll your window down on the way. It's just a little weird, man.
it's a little weird that you're just demanding I do something. You said that you're not asking, you're telling me, and you don't have the legal grounds to tell me to roll my window all the way down.
Does he? Does he have the legal grounds to tell him to roll his window all the way down? We're going to talk about it after the video.
That's the only thing. That was a lie.
A lie?
Yeah.
It's not a lie.
Do I have to roll my window
I
down?
can make a bigger deal out of that. I'm not
Hold
going
on.
to, though.
Do I have to roll my window down all the way? Is that a
I do
law?
what I asked, man.
Is that a law?
And if you think that's violating whatever, we can take it to court.
We can take that one to court. That is not a law that I have to have my window all the way down.
Like I said, it's speeding, man. It's not a huge deal.
And I
It's not a
understand
big
that,
deal.
and that's why I feel like we got off on the wrong
Just
foot.
admit that you were doing,
telling me
that
to
you're
do,
speeding. It's
something
no
that I
big
don't
deal.
I can tell you to do whatever I want. If you think it's
You
violating,
can tell me to do whatever you want.
If you think it's a violation of whatever thing you're talking about, we can take it.
Well, I don't think you violated it.
Listen to that carefully, and this is completely true. He can tell you to do whatever he wants, and if you think it's a violation, you can take it to court. That's how our law system is designed. It's not meant to be fought on the streets or argued about on the streets. It's designed to be argued in court. And if they're wrong, there's mechanisms in civil law that get you paid. In criminal law, there's mechanisms that will dismiss charges or dismiss evidence. Excuse me, not dismiss charges, dismiss evidence. And by dismissing evidence, you could possibly get charges dismissed.
Right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
good deal.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm saying beyond that, why don't you just want to? Like, what's the big deal? You see, like, are you afraid or what?
I like my window. Well, I think that, a man approaches my car with a gun, and
Yeah, I'm not here to hurt you or anything like that.
I
Just do my job.
fully believe that,
Yeah.
but
This
I'm
whole
allowed to have my
conversation's
defense up, right? Do you believe
unnecessary.
I'm going to hurt you?
No, I don't.
But you got your defenses up, right?
Yeah.
It's
Shut
just a
up.
natural.
All the stuff
Both
going
of
on,
you.
I guess, it's kinda
Sure,
natural
yeah,
stuff, you
yeah.
know? Yeah.
I have nothing against you as a person.
Yeah, but
I'm just,
you gotta think, man. Not every cop's a bad cop. So I'm not here to
No,
hurt you or
I
anything like that, man.
and I'm fully on the side of the police.
Yeah.
But
Are
I
you?
appreciate that.
I have my ways I got to do things.
Yeah. I was just saying behind the whole cop thing, I was just kind of curious why you didn't want to go, like, behind the whole, I'm the cop, you're the, violator, whatever. Just kind of curious why you didn't want to roll it down. So.
Yeah, I just like it where it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's different.
Sure.
Anyway, man, just hang tight here, okay?
Sure.
All right, I cut this video up a little bit.
Put your stuff back, man. Here's what we're doing, okay?
All right.
Your records look pretty dang good. I didn't see a speeding warning or ticket on there, okay?
Okay.
On you off with the warning, okay?
I
I know
really
you don't think
appreciate
you're going that fast, but radar said you were, but I'm not writing you a ticket.
That's what I was going to ask, is if you're on radar, because
Yeah.
I'm not lying to you. I wasn't going that fast.
How fast? Since we're beyond that, how fast was it?
I really can't answer that question.
Well, I'm not writing you a ticket.
I like how he still refuses to answer how fast he was going, just based on principle. All right. He's not going to admit to committing a crime. And at this point, he is pretty much free to go. The cop told him, I'm not going to write you a ticket. I'm already just giving you a warning. But he's insistent on knowing on getting this guy to admit how fast he was going. That's his personal award. That's what he wants. He was like, yes, I got him, and I got him to admit he was wrong. That's what he wants. This guy doesn't give in.
I understand. But there's a formality that's got to take place there.
Correct.
What do you mean formality?
Tries to be friendly, but he's not your friend.
Things.
I'm not going to walk back there and rewrite a ticket, man. I can promise you that. I'm just curious.
I can promise I won't answer the question.
You have my word. I'm not going to do that. I promise you. That's on my camera. Just I know you don't think you're speed. My radar said you were, but just be careful, okay?
Absolutely. And you too, for
I
sure.
appreciate it, man. Like I said, not every cop's bad, man. Just a little thing. So just
absolutely.
Just keep that in mind, man. Some guys might not be as nice about it as me, but
sure.
Clearly, I'm saying you're clearly not a bad dude. So
I try to function within the bounds of the law. You know, that's it.
Yeah. Some guys, they might sat here and made you get out of the car and stuff, but you're, like I said, you're clearly not a bad guy. So I'm not
right.
That's a very important little part to this video. Some cops would have made you get out of the car.
Out of it, just,
and I appreciate that.
Keep that in mind. Some guys might not take that the same as I did. Just,
I got you. Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
You have a good day.
Yeah. You too.
Before we continue, I want to take a quick moment to shout out my new sponsor, Tecate Cerveza. Tecate, el pisto más firme. Okay, so let's talk about this. The first thing I want to talk about is how he refused to discuss the reasons he was pulled over. Now, this is a masterclass in refusing to answer questions. I counted 5 separate occasions that the cop was trying to get him to admit to speeding. And he even played the bad cop, good cop. Oh, I'm your friend now. By letting you off with a warning, and he still got refused. And that's how you do it. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's how this is supposed to work. Don't answer questions regarding crimes you've committed. If you're a defendant or a suspect, it does you no good to talk to that cop. You talk to your attorney, and your attorney will figure it out. Because anything you say will be used against you. That's why you shouldn't talk to cops. He was polite. He was respectful. His demeanor is something that would get a jury on his side. He didn't get into that back and forth conversation about what the law is regarding his speeding, or the Constitution or his rights. He knew his rights. He knew not to answer questions, and he shut up. Regarding the speeding, we're going to talk about the windows right now. But this is an issue I have with a lot of these First Amendment auditors that go out and they film police stations and cops come out and harass them. My biggest pet peeve is they want to have this back and forth dialogue about, oh, do you have probable cause? And that's not probable cause. They want to talk about the Constitution and the cop's oath. It's the self-bloviating ego trip to show the cop how smart they are. The thing that shows me how well somebody knows their rights or knows the law isn't how much they can quote the law or how well they can debate a cop. It's how well you can shut the fuck up. Okay, now let's talk about the window issue and figure out what the rules on this are. It's my personal opinion that you should always just lower the window all the way when they asked. If you want to do it halfway to start with and they ask you to lower it all the way, just lower it all the way. This guy did a very poor job here because he ended up in this back and forth about what the law is and what the cop can do and what the cop can't do regarding telling him to lower his window down. It's not a hill to die on. It's so not important. You already lowered your window this much. There really was no advantage here to not lowering the window all the way. Here's why I recommend just lowering the window. Because all the cop has to do is invoke officer safety. That's their catch-all excuse for being allowed to do a lot of things that's not actual law, that's not actually written down. That's true. There is no law that says you have to lower your window all the way. But while you are detained, there's a few rules. You can't leave, and you have to obey all orders dealing with your physical movement. And I've done a video on this before, but one thing I didn't talk about is they can also control things that are in your immediate environment. They can tell you to take off your backpack, drop your purse, drop bags you are holding. And lowering your window could also be interpreted as your immediate environment for officer safety. And if you still refuse to lower your window, the solution for them is simple. They can simply order you out of the vehicle. Now, you don't have a window that's all the way down. Now you have your entire door open and you're completely exposed to the cop. I've done a previous episode talking about can an officer order you out of the vehicle. So I'm going to put the link up. It should be right there, I think. The whole thing is this just isn't worth the argument. It's not worth damage to your property, and it's not worth the damage you might suffer if the cop turns violent. And in the end, even though there's no law, it's something you really don't have a choice about.
Do I have to roll my window down?
I can make a bigger deal out of that. I'm not going to, though.
Do I have to roll my window down all the way? Is that a law?
Do what I asked, man.
It really causes more trouble than it's worth. It could prolong your detainment, and it could lead to another factor in their reasonable suspicion to investigate something else. So do not follow this guy's example with lowering your window. The only reason this didn't turn out worse than it did is because the cop did not press the issue.
Just keep that in mind, man. Some guys might not be as nice as that as me, but
Sure.
Clearly, I'm saying you're clearly not a bad dude. So.
And if you didn't catch it, the cop let him know that he could have told him to get out of the car and press the issue further.
Yeah, some guys, they might have sat here and made you get out of the car and stuff, but like I said, you're clearly not a bad guy, so I'm not
Right.
So do you agree or disagree with me? Do you see any advantages that I'm not seeing regarding lowering your window partway? Speaking of comments, YouTube user the Fritz423 left a comment on one of my videos saying, never take legal advice from a guy on YouTube with a piercing in his lip. I completely agree with him. You should consult a licensed attorney in your state or jurisdiction. None of this is legal advice. This is just my insight, opinion, and perspective into how the law works. One more thing, my subscriber count has been constant at about 100 subscribers for the last 4 videos. If you're getting anything out of this, please hit subscribe. It's the best way you can tell YouTube that people are actually enjoying this content so they can share it with others. Well, thank you for joining me. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more Dashcam and Bodycam review videos. Until next time, duck the law.